Okay, here's the third video. I did not mean to stop the other video, but oh well. I'll just continue here. Okay, so we were seeing a problem with the rhombus. And again, the diagonals, here's the main thing. Ooh, that does not look like a rhombus. Remember, has to look like it's almost like a square, but the angles are not 90 degrees. All the sides are congruent. So what I was getting at is these diagonals, the diagonals are going to bisect the angle. So if this angle is like 140, if the whole angle is 140, then these would be 70, 70. And then these would also be 70, 70. Right? And actually, let me bring it over here so I can, because here's what's going to be tricky, or here's where some people get lost a little bit. Once you draw those diagonals, you got to kind of remember the rhombus, or remember it's a parallelogram. And if this is 140, this is 140. But when you draw the diagonals, it's going to be hard to remember that, and you'll forget about it. Okay, so remember, if this is 140, this one's 140, but then you also got to get this one. Remember, these two add up to what? 180. So that's 140. This whole angle is what? 40, right? You guys agree? 140 plus another 40 is 180. Okay, so I got the big angles, but now what do the diagonals do? The diagonals split it. So that's what I just did here over here. See, this is 140, just like this, 140. But when I put the diagonal, what does it do? It makes these what? 70 and 70, right? Half of 140, 70, 70, and this one's 70, 70. That's what I got here. That's what I got here. This is 140, this is 70, this is 70, this is 70, this is 70. All right. And then now what about this one if I go this way? Well, I have to know the whole angle first, right? What's the whole angle first? Remember over here it was 40? The whole angle is 40, but when I draw that diagonal, what happens to that angle? It gets split in half. It gets split in half. So now this is what? 20 and 20. So now these are 20, 20, 20, 20. Okay, see, it gets too busy and then it kind of gets a little confusing, but no, it's actually really easy. So let me do another problem that I was doing earlier, but the other one didn't work out because all the answers were 60. So let me get a not a parallelogram, a rhombus, right? This is only for rhombus, for this rhombus. It's like a square that's been, or like a diamond that's been it's kind of turning sideways. The angles are not 90 degrees, right? They're not. So let's say they are, let's say this angle is 94. All right, we'll do another one like this. Let's say this one's 94. And they give you this, and they want you to find angle 1, 2, 3. I mean, you can find all of them. They probably ask you for 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're going to find all of them anyways. So they're not cutting this one in half. They're cutting this one over here in half. So remember, I got to look at the whole thing first and say, okay, I know if this one's 94, I know this one's 94. Okay, I got that. But then I got to get this whole angle right here. And remember, these two add up to what? 180? These two will add up to 180. So that's 94. This one has to be 96, I believe. Yeah, that's 96. So this is the one over here. This is the one that has the diagonal. See, this is the one that's getting cut in half. This 96 is getting cut in half. This one was 96, right? Remember that 96 right here? Can you guys still see that? So this is 94. I'm telling you, I don't care which angles they're asking you for. You should be able to find all of them. So this is 94. Well, I know this one's 94 over here, but I'm not going to write it. I wrote it over here. But this one's 96. Now, what's half of 96? I think it's like 38. No, 48. 96 divided by 2. 48. So guess what? This is 48. This one's 48. This one's 48. This one's 48. So you can find all of them. I found all of them. Look, I got that one, I got that one, I got that one, I got that one. And I know these are opposite. It's 94. Okay? So, this is a what? 48, 48, 48, 48, and these are opposite. So that would have to be 94. The other one we were doing was actually, this one we started with a big angle and coming to the inside. Now we're going to start with an inside angle and come out to the outside. So this other example would look like this. So let me go this way now. Now let's see, it's going kind of this way. It looks like a square that's kind of like, it's like a diamond or a square, right? All the sides are congruent. Okay, so let's say this is, so they'll draw, what if they do a diagonal like this, and they give you this one right here. Let's say they tell you that this one's, what was I going to do? Let's go with 30... 35. Let's say if that one's 35. Well, remember, if this little piece right here, this little piece is 35, just this little piece, remember, this diagonal splits this one, so that's 35. What do I know? Well, this one's 35. And if these two are 35, what? Well, these two are 35, right? And now, when you're working the inside, when you're working with the small ones and going out, now you can say, okay, well, now here's where you can do this. I can just now, can you guys see that these are like two triangles, right? If I just kind of cover half of it, you guys see that there's a triangle right there? A triangle, remember the three angles of a triangle also have to add up to what? Remember the three angles? Whatever those two, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3. Remember, for a triangle, what's also true for the sum of the interior angles? They also have to add up to 180. Isn't that funny? 180 is pretty popular in geometry. So I know this is 35 and 35. 35 plus 35 is, 35 plus 35 is 70. So how much more if, what's 180 take away 70? Guess what? This one has to be what? 110, right? 110, 110. Yeah. All right, let's look at another one. Now, when they start putting the two diagonals, that's when it looks a little bit more confusing. So let me do one that looks a little bit more, oh, I should have drawn bigger. What if I have one, and remember, these are going to be almost like two congruent triangles. Like if you draw a triangle like this, and then you draw another one just like it, I mean, that's a rhombus, because all the sides are congruent. All the sides are congruent. I'm trying to make this look, remember, it's not a square, so it's not going to be a perfect square. But you'll have one, remember, all the sides are congruent. You'll have one, And you'll have two diagonals. Oh gosh, what if they give you two diagonals and they only give you one of them? What if they only give you, they don't give you a big angle, they just give you, they're only going to give you one of them. Remember, this is a rhombus. Let's say they give you, and they're only going to have to give you one. Let's say they give you this one and they tell you that this one's like 24. What if they tell you that and it's 24? Well, let's ignore the red one for now, because once you got the two, it looks a little confusing. But let's just focus on these two parts right here for the blue diagonal line. If that's 24, that one's 24, right? Because the diagonal bisects the angle. So that makes these congruent. And if these two are 24 for this blue diagonal, these are 24, right? And then some of you are like, gosh, how am I going to get these over here? Well, here's another thing that I'm just going to introduce now. I mean, you can look at it a couple of different ways, but let me tell you another thing about a rhombus. Here's a big wowie, a big true thing about the characteristics of a rhombus. I know that this and these are not the same length. I'm not talking about the length, but the diagonals, right? You need both of them. The diagonals of a rhombus intersect, right? They obviously intersect. You know what? I'm just going to put this. Form 90-degree angles. Wow, that's a big revelation right there. What does that mean? Or I could have said right angles, right? 90 degrees is right angles. That means, you can see it here, even in my sketchy drawing, you can see that what? They make a 90 degree. But not just one. Why do you think I put angles? They make 90 degrees. How many 90 degrees? That one there, that one there, that one there. They're all 90 degrees. Okay? So now what do I got? I pretty much have like 2490, 2490, 2490, 2490. All these little four triangles. See, now they're little triangles. Each one of these is a triangle. They're all congruent. Once I find this angle, it's the same for all of them, yes? Yeah. You see, I'm just going to focus on that triangle right there. Or any one, they're all going to be the same. What do I know about the three angles of any triangle? The three have to add up to what? Add up to what? 180, right? Remember, the sum of the three is 180. But if that one's 90, then these two have to add up to 90, right? Because again, 90 plus 90 is 180. So guess what? This is what? 24 plus what is 90? Or 90 take away 24. 90 take away 24. 66. Oh, 66. I'm glad I checked because I was thinking 56. I just found out that this is 66. Right? 66 plus 24 is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. And if this one's 66, well, guess what? This one's 66. This one's 66. This one's 66. Okay, so that's the main and the last thing about rhombus. These diagonals, where they intersect, diagonals of a rhombus form 90 degrees right here where they intersect. Okay, that is it for this video. Good luck.